we found a group of Christians in Kiev. They were worshiping in secret because the communist government wouldn't allow it. They were different from us. They prayed like this. They asked us, do we have to change? We said no. No. They had adopted the name Church of God from 1 Corinthians chapter 1. They knew that we used Romans 16:16, churches of Christ. They asked, do we have to change? We said no. No, you don't have to change. You see, we did not try to make them carbon copies of us because they have a different culture than us. That's where God's liberty plays, because God knew that we're going to be different. We're going to have difference of opinions and difference of desires and needs and things. And if it's a matter of opinion, we can have a difference. That's no problem. To be sure, there's many issues that divide Christians that do seem to require agreement before we could worship together. Let's go back to that once a year Sunday night service up in Paragould. If a group decided to have instrumental music, guess what? That's not going to happen. That would be violating God's word, violating Ephesians 5:19, Colossians 3:16. We can't have anything that violates God's word. But can we have differences in the area of opinions? Yes. Can we fellowship believers who differ from us in matters of opinions? We better, because they are our brothers and sisters. Standing here, I'm going to tell you, we have people that are different. You're different, I'm different. Aren't you glad you don't have to be like me? It's okay. It's okay. If you have a strong feeling on a matter of opinion, that's okay. At Polishing the Pulpit, I didn't get to go to the classes I want to because I was working, okay? I was one of the guys working to make sure all the classes worked. But I happened to be in the classroom running the equipment for Doug Burleson. Doug is a professor at Freed-Hardeman. His question that was given to him, and he talked about it, is how do we fellowship, how do we reach out to, got 5 minutes, to the people that we used to call them aunties, people, we called them aunties. And he had a very, very good lesson on that subject. If it's a matter of faith, we have to do what God says. But is it a matter of opinion? What does 2 Corinthians 6:14-16 mean? There, Paul is talking about not being unequally yoked. He's talking about believers, Christians, being yoked together with non-Christians. Paul is urging us not to do that. We are a family, brothers and sisters together. So do we have to be just like each other? No. In matters of opinion. Look at unity in the book of Ephesians. This congregation was experiencing disunity as Paul kept on exhorting them for oneness, to be one together. To be one together. The solution to the problem of disunity does not lie in our ability to agree on every matter of opinion, but in our willingness to be humble and agree to try to work together for the common good, True unity today requires humility, gentleness, patience, and love with a focus on God's grace. Let me wrap. I got about 2 minutes. In the book of Philippians, Paul, besides talking about rejoicing, about joyful life, also has a plea to lovingly deal with interpersonal conflict. Look real quickly. This is our last verse that we'll look at. Look at Philippians chapter 4. Philippians chapter 4, verse number 2. Notice what Paul says. I implore. He mentions two individuals here. I implore them to be of the same mind. How? In the Lord. In the Lord. I always enjoyed that one night a year. I got to be with other Christians from all the different congregations. I got to see people that I normally did not see very often. And I made the comment, because one time I had the opening welcome. I did the opening welcome to the service. I said, this is a little taste of heaven tonight. Fellowship together. Because I saw people out there, I saw people sitting that would never ever use anything other than the King James Bible. I saw people sitting that use the New King James Bible or some other translation. I saw people that would only sing normally at their worship services the old songs. I saw people that normally only sing the new song. That's okay. I saw people from congregations that were heavily involved in mission works. I saw people that from congregations that were heavily involved in local work. That's okay. It's okay. We don't have to be carbon copies of each other on matters of opinion.